Room Tone Podcast is a show produced by us, three movie nerds shooting the shit while talking about shooting the shit.
Each episode builds upon the last, so we recommend starting at the beginning.
Now, let's make a movie. Austin, can I get some smooth jazz in the background for this one?
Of course. There you go. Let me just sprinkle some smooth jazz right there for you.
Welcome to the Room Tone Apology Hour, a frequent event where we apologize for things that we've done. Last episode, I claimed that David Cronenberg had a big role in John Carpenter's The Thing. Yeah, definitely not the case.
I am going to say that I figured if I'm going to be a douche about it.
Come on, douche.
You know, actually, I will apologize for that. Let me sprinkle back the jazz. Swain, I felt that was wrong, but I trusted you because you seem to be a reliable source. And I guess in the future, I'll realize you're not.
Yes, thank you. That is what I was going for.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it still makes sense to me that, like that and The Fly just, like, I don't know, have such a, like, a...
Cronenberg-esque.
Just have, like, the same look in my brain. But I was wrong.
Haven't you not seen The Fly?
I haven't seen either of them. But I've done research on visual effects in Hollywood, and I have done, like, research projects on, like, the horror genre specifically. So I also considered myself a credible source, but no, I haven't seen either of them.
I don't want to brag, but I happen to own John Carpenter's The Thing.
No, where's the brag?
It does sit in my collection. Doesn't make me an expert by any means, but I get by.
What would you score John Carpenter's The Thing on the room tone rubric? You can just give us the final tone.
I would say, I guess, like, for like a general score, I would probably give it like a 55.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, that was high.
High praise.
Very good. The practical effects in that movie is killer. The small detail that the cinematographers worked in, also amazing.
Hell yeah.
It definitely feels like a class S horror movie. Like, it's definitely platinum.
Dope.
I put it up there.
Dope. I feel like that. Yeah. Cool.
It's very suspenseful.
Cool. I've been looking forward to seeing it for a long time.
Yeah, no, I keep recommending it to you.
I know.
You get to see it.
For a guy who likes movies, I don't watch a lot of movies.
Yeah, what's up with that?
You still haven't watched The Fall, so...
Well, let's do it.
Hell yeah.
By the way, let me put up some defense here. It's not like we were like, hey, do you want to watch The Fall? And I'm like, no, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, that's not what we're doing with The Thing either.
Yes, it has. I've asked him to watch it multiple times.
And I've said I don't want to watch it?
There was one time where I suggested it, and you said you did not want to watch it. No.
Like, because I didn't want to watch the movie, or because, like, of a different...
Because I don't think you were feeling it for that day.
Oh, okay.
Okay, boo-hoo. Well, that's not...
Let's watch The Fall right after this. Oh, no, we have Dahmer.
Yeah. Wow, look at that. More excuses from Exhibit A over here.
Wouldn't you rather us watch Dahmer?
Eh.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
We have 2 episodes left.
I want you to watch Mindhunter.
I'm not watching Mindhunter.
I know you're not.
Specifically because of how much you want me to at this point.
Good. I don't want you to anymore.
Good, because I won't.
Fight.
Hey, Swain, have I ever told you how much I don't want you guys to watch Mindhunter? Don't fucking watch it. It's not your show.
You know what sounds like a great show, Maddie? Mindhunter.
Arcane.
Yeah. Arcane. Neither. Oh, Maddie watched Arcane.
What was that? Did
Matt,
you just-
my tongue got all twisted up.
that sounded like when you play back a record and it's like saying like "Satan will suck your dick."
Where's that record?
That was nuts, dude. That's my record, baby.
Floop is a bad man. Help us, save us.
That's my record, forward and backwards.
Satan
get
will
the-
suck your dick.
You get whatever you want there, baby.
Austin, your iPod is only one song,
It's the best goddamn song
and all
ever.
it says is "play me backwards."
And that means two things.
This one says "bend me backwards."
And that means one thing. Because if you bend my fucking record or my iPod, I'd be upset. Do people still use iPods?
Yo, I think.
Aren't iPods just iPhones?
It's kind of, but like there were like iPods separately, like a
There's
separate
no
iPod.
way someone uses an iPod still.
I guarantee
Yeah, you guarantee me?
that somebody in the world is using an iPod.
Yes, okay, I'm sure some fucking person in the world is using an iPod. I don't think they're
Are many?
a common occurrence.
True.
If you saw that, would you put $1 in their hand and hope for the best?
Yeah, but you know what I want to see? So you know how people at like a certain age, they just kind of like are set in stone as far as like what technological age they're in.
Yeah.
I want to see like the guy who hit that age right at like iPod Shuffle level.
Oh yeah.
And so now he's like a 46-year-old with an iPod Shuffle clicked to his fucking...
There's nothing better, man.
Yeah.
It's the iPod Shuffle.
Which are
80
easily the
songs right
worst
here.
thing. Yeah?
And he's just jamming the fuck out.
That's right, baby. 80 songs right here.
He'd probably be closer to like 50, 60.
You think so?
He'd probably be like 62.
Oh.
That guy.
iPod shuffles were easily the worst.
They were.
Shuffle.
Yeah. Like,
Terrible.
do you want...
Like, what the hell is
No
that
context?
about? Yeah.
Do you just want to play random at life?
Right. It's literally like, here's all your music. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I
That
guess-
sucks. You know what? I had an iPod Shuffle. I never knew that was like how they worked.
Yeah,
What do
they're
you mean by
stupid.
that?
I didn't realize that they
They just shuffle it?
just shuffled it. I literally just learned that in this conversation.
Well, I mean, like you could have it either way. You could shuffle it or not.
How did you think it worked?
Yeah, tell me about that.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Oh, you know what it was?
What was it?
What?
I had like the Shuffle Touch.
So you did not have an iPod
Yeah, I'm
shuffle?
sorry. Oh
No.
wow, that's such a classist thing, right?
Yeah. Actually, I had the douchier version of a shuffle, but not a real iPod.
I had the one with the screen. Oh, you.
So an iPod,
yeah.
idiot.
Yeah, so a
Yeah.
tiny iPod.
So the iPod Nano.
You fucker.
Is that what it was?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Damn it. Maybe I didn't have the Shuffle.
No, you didn't.
Well, I still just learned that.
You never suffered with us.
I
brother.
guess not.
Remember
Oh,
how to
I didn't have an iPod shuffle. I wasn't
Oh, shit.
fucking trash.
Sorry. Oh, fuck, dude. I'm sorry. I landed in.
A fucking iPod shuffle? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, dude. I was like fucking 10. Like,
Yeah.
You think I had a choice in the matter?
Yeah, that's
I think
garbage.
I
When you're-
stole that too. Like, I'm being honest.
So you stole the shittiest iPod?
Yeah, because it was.
Why
it was
don't you
something.
even aim for the real iPod?
Because I stole it off somebody. Because they were poor.
You didn't have much to choose from.
What do you want from me, Maddie?
I want you to
I'm
do
sorry.
better.
I'm sorry. I only associate with poor people.
I'm sorry too.
Holy shit.
When did this classism happen? Like
You
It's always
literally
been
brought
here.
it
you
up.
literally- yeah, because I'm like, haha, yeah, iPod shuffles, know the struggle, and you're like,
No, you
I
literally-
I never even fucking touched the struggle. You dumb bitch. Are you fucking kidding?
It's fair.
No,
Stand by it too.
my first MP3 player, the only way I ever figured out how to get songs on it was I had to listen to the radio and hit record.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that you were a Zune kid.
Dude, I also stole a Zune from somebody.
Did you steal a Zune?
Yeah.
You badass.
Was it ZOON?
It's ZUNE. Zune.
Probably the
That's
heart of
easily
their
the
failure.
worst way for them to have spelled it.
Yeah, that's probably why they crumbled.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's
No,
ZOON.
No, you're right.
Is it ZUNE?
Yeah, totally, definitely.
Zune.
Soon. That was their motto.
Yeah. Yeah, they Zune.
When they Zune, you Zune.
Use-
Maddie, you do one.
They're kind of cute.
They are. I borrowed one from a kid in my gymnastics class.
Yeah. You should never give it back.
Yeah, now I'm out. No, I never gave it back.
Dude, what if the kid from the gymnastics class listens to this podcast and he's like, that's where my fucking Zune went.
Dude, maybe.
Dude. And he had a Zune too, so he was also poor, you fucker.
No, I know.
You're like reverse Robin Hood over
But
here.
I really wanted it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I bet you did.
And
then in Christmas you got an iPod and Nano and you threw away the Zune.
And I never touched the Zune again.
I don't need the Zune anymore. I got an iPod Nano.
No, straight up, you want to hear the worst thing? You want to hear
it.
like why I sometimes question if I'm a good person?
Why?
I think I didn't have the charger for it.
It's like,
And then so the Zune died and I just never gave it. And I just always had it.
really?
Yeah. I just sat dead in my drawer.
Did I tell
That's
you?
what makes you think you're a terrible person?
Yeah.
Among everything?
Woof. And you know what? Maybe the kid told me that I could keep it, and I just forgot that part.
I don't think a kid told you can keep it, Swan.
You think
That's white. That's white thinking right there.
you think he wasn't white?
No, I'm saying for you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he just gave it to me, so I took it.
You know the worst thing?
Let's hear it.
He's native.
You motherfucker.
Oh no.
Take everything from them.
Jesus
You
Christ.
guys, am I the problem?
Your ancestors are like, hey.
Yeah, I'm German.
This kid's okay. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I had never even heard of a Zune.
You should. You should find him and pay him back the money
Yeah.
that it was worth back then.
Hey, dude. 15 years ago, here's $60.
Yeah, this is restorations.
Also, I made some Rice Krispie bars.
There you go, buddy. Oh my god, it's terrible.
Just slip into the Dahmer voice there.
You want to come over and just have a couple of beers?
Why? It's a sandwich.
What?
I made it for you.
I want you to eat it.
Eat the sandwich.
It's a sandwich.
What a fucking weirdo. What an absolute... And you know what?
What?
Okay, so we've transitioned to the conversation of Netflix is the Dahmer. Stay tuned after the theme song.
Netflix is the Dahmer.
Are you saying to our audience to pause for room tone?
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
we nailed it. My name's Austin Swain. I'm an animator and video production specialist working in commercial advertising, and I have never worn a pair of Dahmer glasses. I'd like to try them out.
I have to say, Swain, I miss the fun facts. I relied on you on the fun facts. I will admit, you've taught me some stuff.
Shit,
You've
man,
taught me some shit.
I just stopped looking them up.
You know what? I get it. You're a busy guy. You have a lot of shit going on.
Well, honestly, I stopped running out of topics.
Really? Maybe I'll start being the fun facts. No, I'm not gonna be the fun facts guy. Let's be honest here.
Did I just learn something? I don't know. No, guess not.
Do you think they would make you look too much like actual Jeffrey Dahmer?
I could say
I might. I will say, after watching Dahmer, my choice cast in my own biopic would be Tom Holland. But I think I've changed my vote to Evan Peters.
it's just as much masturbating. So
Yes, I mean, yeah. That doesn't change the act.
he's prepared.
He's hired.
Okay. I guess Maddie, you're good.
Totally no.
Totally no.
Are you kidding me? That's like, of course you wish Evan Peters could
yeah.
play you.
It's a biopic. He's gonna look way better and be way cooler. You seen the guy who Miles Teller played for War Dogs?
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's ecstatic that Miles Teller played him.
Well, in that case, why don't you just ask for Morgan Freeman?
Yeah, they could have cast Woody Harrelson, but they're like, nah, let's get Miles Teller in there.
My name's Austin Rapez. I'm an amateur filmmaker. And my recommendation for the week is drumroll, please. We actually don't need a drumroll.
Oh, I was just like motorboating over
let's
here.
Just cut that.
We actually don't need that,
too
so you
much.
could shut the fuck up.
Thank you.
Too many drum rolls
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
Room Tone show.
Yeah.
True.
So my recommendation is Perfect Blue.
Oh.
The anime?
Mm-hmm. Have you? You've obviously heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it?
I've heard it's good.
It's very, very good.
Yeah. I've heard it's a trip.
It's very, very good.
Oh, cool.
It's essentially this actress / pop idol transitioning her career from a pop idol to more of an actress and kind of taking on a little bit more serious things and kind of coming to terms with like that transition, and more scary stuff happens, and it's a whole trip. I don't want to
Cool.
give too much away because I do
Right.
recommend you guys watch it.
Rad.
Yeah.
It's on my list.
Is it a modern?
I think it was made in like 1996 or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, okay.
It's an oldie.
It's a
Yeah.
movie or a show?
It's a movie.
Rad.
Yeah,
Very
it's,
cool.
It's really good. The animation's really good. It feels very intense. I was very shocked. It's what's the word? It's like a word where like the animation is kind of off-putting, but like kind of makes it
Okay.
good.
Like stylistically uncanny.
Yeah, yeah, or at least maybe just for like one character, I should say.
Okay.
Yeah, but
It's like kind of weird looking.
it's very weird. looking.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, I highly recommend it. I believe if you have Shudder,
Nope.
it's on Shudder.
How does Shudder work?
So I actually have Shudder from my Amazon Prime. I got it because I paid for the AMC add-on because
Yeah.
I wanted to watch Better Call Saul.
Okay.
And the AMC add-on comes with Shudder.
My name is Maddie, and I'm having a sticker crisis still. But we don't need to talk about that. That's just my fun fact. What I want to say is,
Just bury that.
have you seen any of this Interview with a Vampire show? Have you heard about it at all or anything? No?
I've heard of the movie, like
Yeah.
like what, Tom Cruise was in it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, was Brad Pitt in it too? No.
Yes, Brad Pitt's the other one. Yes, that's what I was trying to think of. the
Oh
other day.
shit, yeah.
They play very sex vampires, right? Like very sexy.
Yeah,
sex
it's like
vampires.
sexy vampires.
Oh.
But they are currently making a show version of it that apparently is very good, and people are like freaking out about it, and that's on AMC.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's what I was looking at.
Have you heard of Hellraiser? Like the show?
Yeah. It's not a show, it's a movie.
No, there's a show now.
Hellraiser
Oh,
the
really?
show?
Yeah,
They're
it's
making a new show?
There is. It's already out.
So they put out a brand new movie and they're putting out a show?
Oh, it's a movie? I
Yeah,
thought it was
that's
a
what it-
series.
It's a movie.
Hellraiser?
The new Hellraiser is a movie.
Oh.
Like
I
the one
thought
that
it was-
just came out.
I thought it was the Hulu original one.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
It's
it
a
was a
movie.
series. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I looked at it today.
Is that
I'm
like
excited to watch
Hellraiser
it.
from like in the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
one with all the needles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which the Pinhead,
Pinhead, yeah.
which I feel like that's a dumb name.
Oh, totally. And
He's like not even a part of that movie, I've heard.
Oh, yeah. What I've seen of the movie looks fucking terrible.
It's supposed to be like
in
really
like a
trippy.
scary way, or like what do you mean?
No, like it just looks it looks ugly. Like they were really they did like a trippy dreamscape like other world way before they should have, like in the realms of CGI.
I don't know, man.
Okay, elitist.
Tim Burton was all up in that puh with the
what?
that puh with the with the Batman movies in his Dark Knight series. Not Dark Knight series, his Batman series.
I think we should see some examples. I mean, what
look up like
I'm just-
Gothic
all I'm
architecture.
saying-
It's very trippy.
What? No, I'm talking about Hellraiser. I'm just saying, like, what I've seen of their, like, portals and, like, their other world.
I see what you're
like,
saying.
it was really off-puttingly bad.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like, their CGI was not ready for the things that they wanted to do. Is what I said. Is all I meant, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds elitist.
It probably is. You know, I'm definitely...
They shouldn't have done it because the technology wasn't there yet.
I'm feeling a lot of puritism. Yeah, you're a purist, Swain, and that worries me a little bit.
It's a purist.
I like it pure.
You like it pure?
Long story short, I would like to see the new movie.
So what are we doing today?
So I think today that we're just going to talk a little bit about what we wrote last week. We put together an outline to kind of the new story structure that we've come up with. An outline for Act 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. We took a real step back and for this story. For those who don't know, this is the Room Tone Podcast, a show where we make a movie. And we're going through the stages of pre-production, production, and post-production. And we're currently in the scripting phase, and we've just made a large shift to our story. The characters had gotten a little bloated. Mm-hmm. The climax wasn't hitting the way that we wanted, and we weren't really catching kind of the jokes that we wanted. So we dropped some characters, we changed the climax and the twist, and
just kind of the format in general.
Yeah.
Like, we also changed, like, whose perspective we were on. We kind of changed, like, who our, like, main characters are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of fleshed out. But we did keep a lot of, like, the same elements within these characters. A lot of the same traits that we've talked about before. Mm-hmm. And a lot of similar story beats. And, like, the core idea of, like, we're trying to get to this dinner. We're trying to prepare for this dinner. And a lot of weird and crazy stuff's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're kind of focusing it more on the creepy aspects. We're kind of making it more of a dark comedy than I feel like it was before, where it was kind of getting a little feel good before.
Mm-hmm. Now that, like, the last line of our outline is the family bonds over murder, I think we're in a happier spot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Should we go over our outline? Oh, and I guess, like, another thing that we probably might want to accomplish today, or maybe not. Do a little bit of brainstorming, kind of figure out, okay, we see our pieces, let's see how they go together.
I agree, yeah. The last time we got together and wrote, we just really tried to get a lot done. You know, we've been through these processes before, so we just kind of wanted to hit the ground running. So we wrote a premise, we wrote a synopsis, and we wrote a full 3-act outline, kind of pushing us towards the direction of, like, okay, what do we want the story to really feel like? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree. I think today we kind of look through those, go over those, and see now how we're feeling a week later. And you know, we've had some time to ruminate and take a look at it now with fresh eyes. And yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what pops and fizzles, and let's brainstorm.
Before we get too far into it, I think I should also point out one thing that we changed from the last time we talked. The last time we talked about this new format, we talked about being the perspective of Donnie, kind of starting with him and kind of him being our protagonist. We changed that. We changed that to now starting in the perspective of Zoe, and kind of following her journey around this, like, weird family. So she kind of becomes us in seeing the weird rituals that they start performing and preparing for.
Yeah, which brings us to the synopsis for our story as written. Let's see, this is fresh eyes. So the synopsis now reads, a caterer arrives at an odd family dinner and is enlisted to prepare more than she signed up for. Balancing sibling drama as they grieve their father, the family reveals they have wicked ties. The special event at dinner is the arrival of the recently departed father. The true nature of the night is revealed when the caterer learns that she is to be sacrificed.
Dun dun dun.
As part of the ceremony. Maybe that's the word.
Yeah.
That was one of the main conversations that we had while we were writing was, okay, who is the main character of this story? And who is the story from, like, who is telling the story, really? Like, what point of view do we take? Mm-hmm. And I actually want to recommend to the listeners a video essay from Lessons from the Screenplay, a very well done video essay channel on YouTube, where they actually discussed this exact topic in the movie Ex Machina that we reviewed last week.
Yeah.
Looking at the difference between the protagonist and the person who has the point of view. And they don't necessarily have to be the same person, which I think is fun. And they talked about in Ex Machina, Ava, yes, the story is told through the point of view of Caleb, the tester, but truly the protagonist of the story is Ava. That makes sense. It's her story. It's her escape story.
Yeah. It ends with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think similarly, yes, maybe our story is told through the eyes of Zoe, but this is the story of Donnie or the family,
the siblings.
Yeah. And so I really enjoy that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up, Swain. That's a really good point.
Link in the description.
I think that still sounds right. I feel like there's nothing I would really change.
I agree.
Yeah. And I think that really, that's going to be helpful for us in kind of setting the scene of like, this isn't like a normal thing. Because, you kind of like, you learn the rules of the world based on your characters, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And like, seeing this as normal, it almost comes off as like, wait, so is this just like a world where this is normal? Or like,
yes,
is this actually really weird,
Because every movie, you're ready for it to be a different universe. I mean, every movie creates its own universe, really.
Whether it's similar to ours or not. Like,
yes.
I feel like that's a douche coin for all of us there.
Yeah.
What? But it's true.
It totally is true.
It's totally true, but like also, I feel like someone can argue, it's just a movie.
Doesn't mean that
Fair
it's
enough.
existing in our universe.
Valid.
I like it being douchey.
Yeah, we'll all get a little coin.
It's a nice douchey feeling, and I mean, because that's really the god complex of video production.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we do it.
That's what I think every time I make a commercial for KEYC.
You're living in my universe, bitches.
There's a douche coin for that.
Yeah, totally. It's the movie's job. It's the movie's duty to introduce the rules of the universe, and so the point of view that your story is being told from is the most interesting. I think when you're telling it from the point of view of someone who is learning about the world they're in.
Really well said, Swain. I will point out to
You
the
said
fact
duty.
that you did say duty.
Aw, you guys.
I wasn't listening to anything else he said.
Dude, that's
I
so
just
weird.
heard duty.
Once I heard duty, I'm like, I'm going to point that out.
I know. I'm going to wait until he's done, and I'm just going to remind myself that he said duty, and we're just going to...
You guys.
Yeah,
So what were you saying?
Yeah,
No.
so what? Say it this time without saying duty.
Okay, so the movie teaches you about the universe. We also wrote a 3-act outline, kind of pointing just towards like directions and moments and vibes more than like any like concrete key points. And that's something that we could go over and just kind of let it spark ideas and brainstorms and just like, how did we see this going? Let's talk.
All right, Act 1. A death.
No, it's not. It's not a death. It's a death.
Then there should be an exclamation point. Not to be critical of your writing here, but like that's just like a standard, a death.
All right, I'll let it slide.
Yeah, well, you better.
Adding an exclamation point.
That's all I ask. That's all I need.
To every act.
Oh, sorry, my apologies. Act 1. Oh, death?
Well done, sir.
Thank you. I'll just kind of read the bullet points that we have for Act 1. Does that sound good? And maybe go a little bit more in depth.
Fuck yeah. When we talked about when we were writing kind of like what a 3-act structure means and kind of went like Act 1 is the introduction, Act 2 is like the problem
conflict.
happens and the conflict and the woe, and Act 3 is
The resolution.
the story's over.
Climax.
The climax and then the resolution is Act 3. Ba-boom. Take it away, Ernie.
All right. So, the first bullet point we have here is there's a caterer.
Boom.
The caterer shows up. The caterer shows up to the house, where she knocks on the door to a disgruntled David, who jimmies the door open because it's still stuck.
We didn't get rid of that. We're keeping
Keeping the
the shitty door.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
You know, something's up with the door.
Something's up with the door.
That door's fucked.
That's where he invites her inside, and he kind of goes back to his own business.
Yeah.
Where she's kind of left to her own devices. That didn't make sense. So he goes back to his own business, and that's where she looks for Donnie, who is in the bedroom, looking at the final request from his father.
Yeah.
A note that was given to him by his father's lawyer or some sort.
Who cares where it came from?
Yeah.
Can I say, you goddamn thespian, the way that you pitched the caterer showing up to this household was so over the top and fun.
But it was needed.
It was needed. It was great. So, audience, let me take you on a walk back through time. Austin's talking about, let's tell this story from Zoe's perspective. She's coming into the house. So he literally, you played some like Wes Anderson ass song.
Wes Anderson ass. Oh,
it was
Swain.
pretty Wes Anderson.
It's probably from Wes Anderson.
Oh, Swain.
You don't have to play it now. Where is our music?
I'm not going to play it, but I am going to search the song so I can say what the song is.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah. So quit fucking putting me in a box.
You know what? You're right. Break free of me.
We're breaking free.
We're sorry.
I just got to make sure this is the right one. Yeah, the song I played was A Prayer for Madame D by Alexander Desplat, or Desplat. From
My damn dick.
From the Grand Budapest Hotel soundtrack.
Wes Anderson ass song, and gets up and full on like mimes out.
What's happening in the
damn
scene
dick.
and just kind of her like
Nobody laughed the first time.
I was hoping we'd just leave that one.
yeah,
It doesn't. It didn't really. But I just really applauded. He threw on the song. He stood up and he goes, "All right, let's do this." And I love, like you were talking about, Zoe shows up and it's like this full-on Coraline ass, like peeking her head through the doorway trying to find Donnie. Like it's all very kind of storybook and like physical comedy almost. I love that.
yeah.
I love that, and I love kind of this first act. It's like Zoe's here. We're introducing like a comedy, lighthearted vibe.
Yep, in the beginning. It kind of transitions. This is also where we are introduced to Lonnie and David when Zoe does eventually meet up with Donnie. I believe we talked about him giving her like a little tour of the house, and then also introducing the siblings, David and Lonnie. And we still want to do what we talked about our last version. There we go.
Yeah.
Of doing this Lazy Susan S shot when we're introducing the characters, and we still want to do that. We still want to implement that.
Yeah. Go into like a full description of each character and like have them like surrounded in these cool environments that display their like personality.
Yeah.
I love that.
Kind of stage them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does it does feel like a Wes Anderson vibe.
That is
in the way
super Wes
beginning.
Anderson.
Yeah. Like in the beginning, and then just transition to like Ari Aster, which is like kind of funny.
Fuck yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
I love that for
That's
us.
a good comparison. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, that's Act 1.
Yeah.
Do you want to read off Act 2, either of you?
Yeah, it kicks us into Act 2, where we start to dive into the plot of the story, and Zoe the caterer gets enlisted by Donnie, the older brother, to help him prepare for the evening. And so even though he's trying to like kind of take up the mantle as the patriarch and lead the family, he brings in the caterer as his like hired help, and they both kind of tackle the list of demands from the father. And what we thought would be kind of fun was while Donnie is off gathering things to prepare for the body, Zoe is collecting other sort of knickknacks and accoutrements that are needed for the ceremony itself. So preparing like dinner and the setting and things like that, because this is a cult household, and this is a cult funeral. and it's gonna get pretty fucked up pretty quick.
Oh yeah, bud.
But the audience doesn't quite know that yet. But y'all do. In this time, so that keeps them kind of in the background, and I think that's where we've always like thought Donnie was funniest, is like trouncing through the background telling this story, or like bursting in and being a just a loud ass.
Yeah.
And so that kind of keeps him in that like funny phase of the story.
I agree. Sorry to kind of like bring this up. I'm very curious. Because you guys have actually seen Skeleton Twins and I haven't.
Yes.
This kind of feels like a little bit more twisted Skeleton Twins, and I guess it's in terms of like.
I wouldn't say so.
Skeleton Twins is way more like sad than it is scary.
Is it?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like funny, I guess. Like,
Skeleton Twins
And
is
it's not funny.
It's not funny.
It's not a comedy. Whoever labeled it as a comedy deserves to get shot.
didn't Bill Hader like label it as a comedy?
No way.
No.
No, him and Kristen Wiig both
No.
scoff at the fact that they build it as such.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, they like both talk about how they saw the promos and they're like, "Oh God, who's calling this a comedy?
Yeah.
This movie's
like they're
fucked."
not advertising this correctly.
Like it's the saddest story ever. Those are
Yeah.
just very funny people.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like they make you laugh.
That's valid.
But it's fucked.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we can cut this out then. Sorry, my bad.
No, I mean I think that's a solid review of Skeleton Twins.
Yeah. I would definitely recommend Skeleton Twins.
What would you
Highly.
give the room tone score?
I don't know, like 50.
Yeah, I was gonna say 50.
That's big.
It's really good.
That's a movie that, I mean, I don't rewatch movies a lot, but I've probably seen it 4 times in like 2 years.
Wow. You
3 years?
You rewatch movies pretty often.
I was gonna say like 2 times. You've probably
I think
seen
you
it
and I have
twice.
seen it twice? 3 times? I think 3 times, you and me. Okay, 3 times in 3 years.
I think I've seen it twice. So
Okay, twice in 3 years. So not that often. We can definitely cut that out.
yeah.
Good movie.
Good movie.
Were you gonna talk about anything else in Act 2?
Lonnie and David go out and buff the Sheba.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Keeping that scene. That might be a darling, but we fucking like it, so deal with it.
Maybe it's not, darling. Maybe we just need a little bit of weed smoking.
I think it just needs to be there.
Yeah.
David gets too high?
Whoa.
Yeah. There's enough question marks on that one. We're still like not really sure. I mean, the original idea of that was you would have like the punky nephew who gets like too high and he's kind of the comic relief dope in the background. But now that we've cut down the characters, we've kind of talked about, do we need that? Like, does that take too much away from David if he's like too zonked out?
Yeah.
So we might kind of have...
We're playing with it.
We're playing with it. We'll see what's funny.
Yeah.
I think we kind of decided like if he's too high and it's funny, sure. Otherwise, he's just a normal character.
Yeah.
It's a good like fallback for a joke if we need it.
Yeah. And it more so gives us an excuse too, of like why Lonnie and David are like, or not an excuse, but more so like this is what they're doing because they feel like they are not treated seriously throughout the ceremony, so they're just gonna smoke a J.
Yeah, right. And like Lonnie's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
David, maybe he's got a higher tolerance than one expects. Who knows? He's an old guy. He's an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to it's dinner time. The ceremony's been set thanks to Zoe and Donnie kind of fumbling through the background. Time has passed with David and Lonnie doing their thing. Dinner's ready. Let's sit down. And I don't know if we need any bigger transition than that.
Yeah, no, and like again, like we are still figuring a lot of this out. This is just like our basic outline, but no, I don't think we need a.
So I mean, this is where we get really like culty, and like we were just saying, this goes from Wes Anderson to Ari Aster. We're going from Royal Tenenbaums to Hereditary here with like the cult sacrifice. So we've been kind of peppering in here like little hints towards like this family's kind of fucking goofy.
Who recommended a Zolly shot?
Me,
Maddie, you.
always.
Dude, okay, so just imagine this. Like, what if, like, the Zolly is our transition from the Wes Anderson to the Ari Aster, right? Like it's such an off-putting shot but like it is also it can be well composed.
Yeah.
Where like it kind of shifts the camera dynamic of like, wait, this was like a very flat comedy, and now it's just kind of like this dynamic.
Yeah.
We should like
Scary
shoot
horror
everything in the first half in a medium frame and shoot everything in the second half as a wide shot.
Yeah.
Oh no, flip that.
Yeah, because its comedy is wide, horror is medium.
I guess.
Yeah,
It might be more
yeah.
trippy as a wide though.
True. Wide but close up.
Yeah.
Like bowed out.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess that's also kind of Wes Anderson. If you look at like the Grand Budapest, you can see like a lot of just 16 millimeter, 14 millimeter like lenses on like a single person, and it kind of bows.
Yeah,
Right.
it really brings out like a storybook look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can see. I wonder if like I was trying to map out in my head like a great dolly. I mean, makes sense at like the twist, at like the twist or the climax. And so my first thought was when Dad's body shows up to the dinner.
I could be down for that.
You get a really good Zolly either on him, which I think could be cool,
Yeah.
or Zoe,
Or both.
which is like we just do a Zolly on every single character, one after the other.
Bob's Burgers the fuck out of
Yeah,
it.
totally. We got the fucking sound effects in there. Yeah, like end on David, who's not paying attention because he's too high? Question mark. But or I mean, I was thinking, a Zolly for the layman is a combination of a dolly and a zoom. And so a dolly is the camera moving toward or from the subject, and a zoom is zooming in or out. And so if you move the camera backward but you zoom in, the size of the subject stays the same, but the background changes, or vice versa.
A good example, a very iconic example, is the scene in Jaws when the first person gets like bitten or whatever.
Yeah.
And like a Zolly's in on the main actor.
Yeah, so you either show more or less of the background. It could be fun if we get it to work, if we Zolly on Dad's body and we reveal all of the characters at the table.
Oh, yeah.
As we see more of the background.
Yeah.
And like see each of their reactions as the shot continues. Something like that could be fun.
I think that'd be really fun. In fact, even like making like I guess this is our brainstorming session.
Yes, it is.
Even making like the ceremony almost like beautiful at first.
Yeah.
Like when Zoe's seeing like everything, like it's like not rose petals, but it's like flower petals. It's these very intricate like designs. It's kind of like almost looks like a wooded Alice in Wonderland tea party.
Right, just fanciful.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you're kind of like swept away from this like mysticism of the scene, and then things start just kind of getting a little bit darker, and then like the shift changes when Dad comes in, and you're kind of looking around. You're like, oh,
Everything's starting to add up now.
This is a cult.
Things are not gonna go well for me.
Or as us Midwesterns would say, oh.
Yeah. Oh, it's a cult. I mean, truly, I think to go back to our previous conversation, up to this point, it's been question marks. And when Dad shows up, exclamation point.
Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation
It's a
point.
cult. It's a cult. It's a cult. Beautiful.
I think so.
But the real climax comes in Act 3 when they find the final item on the list. The caterer must die.
Why do they need to sacrifice her?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
for the
need to
cult.
come up with a reason for
Yeah.
the cult to be doing this.
So I think that's part of our next goal the next time we write or what have you, is we're going to try and kind of flesh out this cult a little bit and figure out the ideology, because I feel like the ideology is just going to be as important as all of the story.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for us. Like, I don't know, just it making sense is, I think, is going to be key.
Yeah. Some of the ideas we threw out were like, I think the main one that we kind of talked about was that, like, in order for the dads, you're just kind of like throwing spitballs on the wall of lore and see what sticks. But like, what if this cult imagines that when one of theirs passes, you can sacrifice another soul and trick the like threads of the afterlife essentially, and allow for that cult member to then be resurrected.
That's why you need the body.
Yeah, so we keep the body and we sacrifice another soul, and that kind of is their motivation behind the sacrifice. And so what we kind of landed on is like, do we drug her? Do we...
Well, the question we always ask, do we drug her?
Yeah.
Do we just hit her? Like, what are we doing?
Okay.
Is she gutted?
Is it an active death? Is it like a running, screaming, they're trying to get me death? Or is it like a slow or like a silent, passive, like just walk up and slit the throat of an unconscious victim?
I really liked the way you put it, Swain, is whether or not if she's, what was it? Is she active? I think it was like the question of like, is she like active, or is it an active killing, or is it like knocked out and she wakes up? Like
Right.
Is there a fight?
Right.
I don't know. I forgot how you phrased it.
No, that's
You phrased
right.
it really well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Trust me.
Yeah, I believe
I
you.
got hard from the phrase.
Yeah,
I don't
just
remember
trust
either,
me.
but I believe you. Yeah, and so I mean, I think it just ends up being kind of whatever's most exciting, or just works best with the cinematography and works best for the story. And maybe at this point we start to look at, we kind of follow the thread of the motivation of the cult to like, okay, well, what story do we want to tell?
Yeah.
And if it's the coming together of the siblings, then maybe that's the style of the kill.
Where they all have some sort of part in it.
Yeah.
I still think the door should get jammed and she is like trying to get out and they come up behind her and slice her throat.
And just slit her throat right there.
Yeah.
And then she bleeds out over the door. Like sprays the door.
Sure.
I don't know. I was just riffing. How do you see it play out? Like after that?
I don't know. I guess I kind of just imagine her like dropping to the floor and then it goes to them burying her. Like nothing really
Yeah.
happens in between.
Well, I wonder if she dies in the house, do we bury them?
I feel like that still matters, because then it's like, oh, if we end on her dying, and it's like, wait, what just happened? Like,
Sure.
what was that for?
Right.
In comparison to like, oh, we had like a ceremony, like, what we talked about before, from our last version of this film,
Yeah.
of like, burying the father or whatever in like the cult's cemetery. Like we can change that, and maybe it's like in the middle of the woods or whatever, and like there's just like these idols like around the grave, surrounding the grave, and like I don't know, like it can be as like weird or as simple as we want it to be.
Yeah.
But I definitely do think that we need some sort of like ritual, and like the purpose. I'm down for like them just like slitting her throat and like calling that good. We don't need a whole thing about it, and maybe it's just like her head on a post. I mean, this feels very fucked up to say, just like so casually, but maybe it's just her head on a post or whatever, and like like she's like, oh, that's like the sacrifice or whatever, or maybe it's buried with her, or I don't know.
I think something has to happen. Like I think there has to be an ending thing.
Yeah.
But I just don't think we need to like show them like getting the body there or prepared
No,
or
I agree
anything
with
like
that.
that.
I think it can cut right to that.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I guess the question is, and maybe this isn't the question, but where I keep coming back to is then like, should she be conscious for that like end ceremony?
I feel like if we're going the route of she just like hits the door, or she's like trying to like escape from the door and they slit her throat.
Yeah.
No, because
Right.
So there's
Thanks for clearing that up.
You asked the fucking question. Don't make me sound weird because you fucking asked.
Well, if they slit her throat, then no.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Let me ask a better question.
Yeah, please.
Forgetting the throat slit for a moment.
Yeah.
If we do like a ceremony in the woods with all the shit,
Yeah.
is it important that she is conscious for that?
I feel
don't
like it's.
think so.
I don't think it's important, but I don't necessarily think that we don't do that either. I think that we have to decide what, like, I guess, like, why is she being killed? I feel like that's going to be like the number one priority to figure out.
Yeah.
And then we can figure out those other details later. Because, like, if it's like, oh, we need the blood of somebody. Well, you don't need them alive. You just need their blood.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Do what you need to do. It was like, okay, but no, we need to like sacrifice them at some sort of altar. Okay, well, they need to be alive to be sacrificed at that altar.
Yeah.
You know? So I think it just depends on like what's it for.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think it's just a life for a life.
Which I agree. I think we can keep it as simple as that. And maybe it's like, yeah, like we go the route of like, oh, you're tricking someone. Or maybe it's like, oh, it's a token. It's like a token from the god that they worship that that they will come back in another life if they're able to trade for another one. Or in their name or what have you. I don't know.
Yeah.
The sky is endless. I guess to answer your question, it doesn't matter. I feel like it can and it also can't. Like yeah.
All right, that makes it easy.
It's us. It's all us, baby.
I feel like that kind of ends up being to echo Ex Machina one more time.
Mm-hmm.
The scene with Ava like walking through just like the modern world, the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's kind of like this scene. It could like it has the potential to be like, and the story's over and everything worked out for our main character.
It's almost like 5 years later.
Yeah,
like
it's
just like that shot.
It's like the epilogue. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to epilogue with you guys.
Always.
We epilogue. I don't know.
But before we epilogue, we should probably pause for room tone.